Good afternoon, RHDD, and welcome to this week's edition of Weekly Message. Today, we're featuring an employee spotlight that I've really been looking forward to doing for a while. I've invited Jill Hammersley, the Coshocton and Holmes County Program Manager, to join me today. Welcome, Jill. Thank you for joining me.
No.
So tell me, when did you first start with RHDD?
Well, I started in January 23rd in 1997, about 28 years ago. And I just want to start with this. So during the pandemic, like many, I tested positive for COVID, and 2 days later, I had a stroke and a heart event. And so I was at OSU for a few days, and my long-term deficits from COVID are aphasia, and my gait can be off if I'm tired or it's the end of the day. So I only tell you all of that because I know that I'll say a word wrong or a phrase wrong during this, and I'll have to correct myself because I can't help it. So we'll just get that out of the way.
That's fair. Thank you, Jill. So I'll start at the top again. So tell me, when did you start with RHDD? What position were you working then? Tell me everything.
So I started in January 23rd, 1997, and I believe the title then was a resident assistant. So I was in that position for almost 3 years. And then then I had the opportunity to become the assistant program manager. And I think I was there for at least 2 years, maybe three. And then our Coshocton Alternatives was starting to be created at that point. So the program manager in that position wanted to go over to alternatives. So then I had the opportunity to become the program manager. And I remember having those conversations with you, Lisa, because I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to do the job. Like it meant so much to me that I had the opportunity and I didn't want to mess it up.
Yep.
So 28 years later, here we are. So I think we're good.
We are definitely good. We are definitely. So, what made you decide to apply for a position with RHDD?
Honestly, when 28 years ago, my husband, he had been diagnosed with a debilitating arthritis, and we'd been together for quite some time. And like, I think it was 3 years after that diagnosis, and we were together 24/7. And one day he rearranged my kitchen, and that was the end. I went to RHDD and I never looked back because I had to get a job because I was the one that babysat everybody else's kids, right? I was a stay-at-home mom. But that day I'm like, if we want to survive, I need to get a job. So RHDD was hiring then. So that's what brought me here.
Well, I'm so glad you rearranged your kitchen all those years
Yes.
ago. I never
He's
knew
never
that.
touched it since. The man that
I'll
does
bet.
not cook, he has not done it since.
Smart man.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what was it like working for RHDD nearly 3 decades ago?
You know, it's so funny because, way back when, I think my starting wage was $6. And that was for me, that was great because I never worked. So I was happy. But, the culture back then was not as much positive, and the leader then was not focused on our individuals or the staff. So I feel like that was not a good time, really. And when you look back and think it could have been, right? But now we are so much better, so much better. And the leadership is so much better. Yeah. We just try
Right.
to forget everything that happened way back when.
Yep. I agree. And you're part of that. You're part of what made the culture shift. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, describe for me and everybody watching, what's it like? What's a day in the life of a program manager like?
Oh gosh. Some days are so easy, but then I would say it's probably 70/30. And on those 70 days, 70 percentage days, you can be a hairstylist, you can be a scheduler, you can be the doctor. You're the one that's going over all the orders, making sure that the medications are correct, that the doctor just said were correct, but they're not. So, it's the oversight for all documentation in our regions. Or in our region, I'm sorry, not all regions, in our region, which is Coshocton and Holmes. And, that's 27 staff and I think 28 individuals. And, the oversight is it's I can't say the word.
You want me to give it
Dang
to
it.
you? You want me to give it to you?
Yes.
Cumbersome.
Yes.
You got it.
So, but at the end of the day, we make sure everything's done. So our individuals have great lives and hopefully our staff are loving their lives too. So, we do everything or we try to do everything that we can for our individuals and our staff.
So speaking of staff, I know that you're looking for some right now. So what do you look for in a successful direct support professional?
For me, when they come in and I am interviewing them, just the personality, hopefully it's a little bit bubbly, but sometimes it's not, but some people are very shy and we get that too. So people really usually talk the more that you're in the interview. And so honesty is a big thing for me. And, when you're in there, when you're in the interview, a person will always say something that they've done not correct or wrong, however they want to phrase it. But at the end of the day, it's how they answer that question. And you can tell if someone is more honest and someone who is not. And at the end of the day, we're all going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes in the 20 years that I've been here. But it is the way that we handle that. So for me, it's the same way for my staff. I just need them to be honest because they'll be part of our family and they're going to help take care of our individuals. And I we can work on any mistake that they happen to have. We can retrain them. But at the end of the day, if they're honest and they come in and just let us know what happened, we can usually work through all of those things. So if you want to be a part of a family that is honest, you should come on on a board.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing comments for everybody?
Again, just being here. This has been a blessing for me for 28 years, literally. Um, the only time that I was off was during the COVID event. And RHDD was here for me through all of that too. So, and my staff were as well. So for me, it is a family. And if you want to be somewhere where people do love you and they value you, then you should come here. So, for me, I love my family and I love my job and this is a good place for us, for me as well.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you for joining me, Jill. It's been a pleasure working with you for the last nearly 3 decades, and I look forward to several more.
I hope
Um,
so.
you can't go out until I do. I can't go out until you do.
You
So,
always say that, and I'm like, that's so
uh-huh.
funny. We'll see.
Hmm. Remember,
Hmm.
that's going to take a board decision. So,
Yes.
that is it for this
Okay.
week. I hope you enjoyed our employee spotlight. And if you want to be the next one that's featured in employee spotlight, give me a shout out. I would love to feature you. Um, I just want to give a heartfelt again, thank you, Jill, for all of the years that you've dedicated your career to this agency. And aside from the work relationship, I appreciate your friendship and it's been a blessing to me and my family
Well,
and I appreciate you.
I
So
appreciate that because I feel the same way, exactly the same way. So thank you.
so thank you everybody and thank you for supporting and living the mission of this great agency. I
Yep.
appreciate the work you do and I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.